Morning, everybody. Well, maybe it's not morning where you're at. Good day, everybody. This morning, it's a Saturday, I had bought a bunch of stuff sight unseen in Rhinelander, Wisconsin, which is about an hour and a half from my place. So I zipped up there to get it, and it was every armload was like a city block to get to the truck. I couldn't get any closer because of the snow. So it took forever. I just had a guy in front of me spin out, coming head on to me. The roads are super icy. I'll flip the camera around. See, there's hardly any snow, but the road is just, it's ice. It's black ice. And it's the real stuff. It doesn't look that bad out, but the roads are really icy. Wow, did I ever buy a lot of stuff? Oh, man. That's a lot for me. We had an online sale and a regular live auction that were on the pickup day and the live auction were on the same day. So the truck, I went to get all the stuff from the online auction, filled up the truck, shot right from there to the live sale that was 100 miles away, and bought a little bit more stuff. So we got to get going because there's a lot here. I got a box of Harley stuff. I don't think that's a Harley branded helmet, too bad. But you can't tell from online auctions. They don't say much. But the seat's pretty cool. Get this out of the box. But there were a lot of little goodies I could see. You know, sissy bar, pad, blinkers, the wiring for them. There's a sissy bar in there. Looks like it's for a sporty. Looks like it's a Sportster sissy bar. Harley branded. Harley branded stuff, man. It's money in the bank. Money in the bank. I don't know what that is. The bubble wrap with nothing in the bubble. It's all good stuff. Hardware kit. It looks like there's a couple of oil filters here. Yeah, and it wasn't a great deal of money. I think it was like $20. And a brand new, I can't even get it out of here. I got so much junk. I got stuff piled on it, but I got these handlebars, brand new in the package. $82 and up. FXST. So yeah, that was a good box. Let's keep going. Log cabin builders, guys that work with post and beam, you know, that use these antiques for their doweling. They drill a hole with these hand augers. These are ancient pieces of real equipment, man. And I buy and sell these all the time. But they're not available every place you go, so when I see them, I grab them. So that was a really good lot. Love it. So there were some lots that were outside on a pallet, and this, if I have the picture, I'll throw it up real quick. It's a cast iron base. It's heavy as can be. This was just included in there, and it kind of was instrumental for me to buy that lot anyway because of all the old floor lamps that I do. What a cool base is that. That's amazing. And you could put, because it's adjustable, you could put anything you want in there. So that was a good get. One of the other larger lots, it's old cast iron replica washing machine. And then they had these steel maple leaf. Had a set of 4 of them in there. Okay. It's a little random, but all right. I know these are weird, but I'm not really sure what room that would be appropriate for, because it's pink and blue. Pink and blue. So did they make lampshades like these back in the day so that if you had a boy or a girl, you could just buy one lampshade and they didn't have to make extras? But these are ridiculously old. They're very old. Mostly they're intact. This one's a little edgier. I like this old cedar chest, although I could tell from the pictures it was beat to death. I like because it's all finger joint. It's got some cracks in the lid. Something really heavy got set on it. But it's all there. And it's an easy fix. The upper part of the latch is missing too. Other than that, it's all there. The sides are good, the back is good. The bottom isn't broken. So that's a quick glue up. That's a 20 minutes of my time. This is a culmination of a couple boxes, but this again was in another lot that I bought. But I mean, 4 original vintage wagon wheels. And if you know how many vintage wagons I come across, and I don't buy them because those are busted up. And if you're into vintage, you know how popular those things are. Kind of like buying an old, metal runner sled for wintertime. And then old-timey shoe cobbler stuff. If you've been around this world at all, you've seen these a million times. Look how little this one is. Man, that's weird. Back in the day, shoes were repaired. They weren't just replaced and thrown out. Old-time wrenches. And I'm not going to dig through all these a little bit. Man, these old tools, they really sell. And there's a great big pulley in there, too, that I thought was kind of cool. I'm not digging that out. Take my word for it, there's a giant pulley down there. I was real happy to get this. It's a straightened steel leather. A real bona fide biker jacket. Super, super heavy, thick leather. It's a medium. I wish I could wear it. Jackets these days, they have zip vents. So you can run, that's a vent, that's a vent, that arm has a vent. It has a zip out lining. It's beautiful inside and out. Lower back protection. And if it's too hot, you can just zip this lining out, take it out. And even the back, and this is a quality cut. I mean, even used, these things bring over $100. This is all a vent too. I don't know if I can do this one-handed. You can see the material in there. So it's a real serious biker jacket, and really heavy. If you could just feel the quality in this thing when you grab it. So I was thrilled to get that. Super nice, especially with all the leather I buy and sell. These are cool. This is a real old Miller, and they had this in a lot that was mixed in with a couple of antique floor ashtrays that I bought, which you'll see in a minute. I got this really nice old Pepsi crate. Love the graphics. They're pretty bright yet. They're even on the inside. Cool, right? It's like nobody wanted. I think I bought it for $12 or something. That's crazy for that. But then there was a lot that they had that they did not have this in the photo. You had to scroll all the way to the last photo. It wasn't in their thumbnail. And I don't know what they were thinking, but Polaroid oil? Really? That's insane. Polaroid goes back to the beginning of time. And the graphics are nice. They're really bright. Not all. That side's a little weaker. Man, I was really glad to get that. That's my first Polaring crate. I never had one in my life. I know this is going to be not as exciting for you as it is for me. I got these backwards. These are pistons. They're for 327 or 350 Chev. They're aluminum. They're TRW. They're racing pistons. They're brand new in the box. There's 6. There's not 8. I don't know what's going on there. But, yeah. These are valuable. But I really was stoked to get these. This is for a Ford 428. They're forged aluminum. They're racing pistons. Look at those big boys. And there's a full set of 8. In Z box. Standard size. So even if you just wanted to just swap out the cast iron for the aluminum ones, you'd pick up a lot of ponies doing that to your motor. It's got all the installation stuff, clearance charts. The thing that got me is I don't think I'm even into this box for $40. I see some online going for, I don't know, it seems like they start at like $350 and some pistons can go up to $1,000 for a set. I'm sure these aren't going to be that great, but they're TRW. I mean, it's good. It's a really good brand. So I am super stoked I've got this lot. I think these were like $26 because it wasn't a full set of 8. But still, if you're buying the L243Fs online, I mean another L243F is gonna be exactly the same. So there you go. How fun was that? Speaking of car parts, I got some cool stuff here. So probably the best deal of the whole auction, well, it was definitely the best deal of the whole auction, was this trio of boxes here. And you're gonna go, wow, that's a bunch of junk. Yeah, you'd be pretty much right. It is a bunch of junk. But it's 57 Chevy junk. And these generators, remanned ones on the internet, are $450. I don't know if they work. For what I paid, I don't care. I mean, there's not a lot to them. There's bearing and brushes. There's really not a lot to those. I mean, you can buy a kit and rebuild it yourself, or you can take a chance that they work. But this whole lot I paid $2 for. Look at these pedals. Gas pedals. Awesome. They're all there. These are really valuable. They're coils. Is that wild? There's 2 of them in there. Look at that. And a lot of miscellaneous like items. Even these pedals, like just a brake pedal, a factory just used brake pedal. They start at like $100 and go up. And I've got a clutch and a brake pedal here. I don't know that the wiper motor's worth anything. Who cares? I mean, these pieces here are great. That's a fun lot. It's a little dirtier, a little grittier to deal with, but the upside for the profit is way big. The stuff is getting harder to find too. They even had a front and back bumper there off of 57 Bel Air. They were kind of crispy, but there were pieces of it that were salvageable, but I didn't go for it. You guys check this out. Yeah, it's filthy because it was in a barn. This is a really old antique book press. I don't know if you can see, but like these are like typically pinstriped and really detailed. I mean, I'm looking at it basically for the first time too. I grabbed it, put it in the truck. I was in such a hurry to leave the place and get to the next auction. But this is the first complete one I've ever bought. And I would say this is probably late 1800s. And these are just used for the manufacture of a book. I mean, to bind a book, they put the book in there and they press it down. That allows them the space to work on it, to work on the binding. I mean, I'm just trying to see the shadowing of the old paint, and the pinstriping looks like it. I just wonder with some delicate soap and water if some of that could be, because everything back in those days was super ornate. Let's see, you can see some pinstripe, and it follows the edge. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's really faint, but if you've even seen one of these restored, they look very elegant for a great big beast. Look, they even got, and you can see it's hand pinstriped. It's not even straight on there. See how it's not, they didn't even get it centered quite right. It's a good indicator of something that's all done by hand, as everything was back in those days. And these can be worth a fortune. I mean, I've seen them go for as little as $300 and as much as $2,000, because it's all cast iron. It weighs, I bet you this thing's close to 100 pounds. It's a beast. This is a solid plate down here. This is a great big thick solid plate of steel too. Awesome. So like in that lot where I got the wagon wheels, these were primarily why I bought that lot. And if you don't know what these are the earliest, pretty much the earliest telephones people would have seen in their house back in the day. With some of the guts in there, not all of them, but some. These cases are oak. These are all Western Electric. This is a smaller, later one. I like the boxes are all finger joint. It's really cool how they built these. And they're oak. I mean, they're beastly heavy. And why did I buy them? I have a couple project ones in the back, and I basically was just looking for parts. They had another really, really old one. Like, it was crazy old. It had to be the first phone. They must have snatched it out of Alexander Graham Bell's hands after he built it, because it was so old. And it didn't take off, and then at the end, it just went nuts. But I'm hoping between all these phones, I can maybe make one or two that look good. And these are really super easy to refinish. I mean, most of these joints are probably, that's on there pretty good. Like see how this joint's kind of rotten? It's just the adhesive's gone. All the wood is there. It's amazingly how strong this stuff is, even 100 years old. So it's an easy sand job. They really take finishes nicely, and they can be pretty cool when it's all done. Good stuff. Sorry, the furnace just kicked on again. I'll try to scream over it. So this was one of those lots that was on a pallet outside. And I know it looks like just a bunch of crap, but there's some pretty cool stuff here. If you don't know what these are antique horse hames. And this would be like the harnessing parts that hooked a horse up to a collar so it could drag a sled. I like that there's a remnant of paint on here. And that old piece of leather is really cool. I got a guy that repurposes old leather. He makes, like knife sheaths and belts and holsters and all kinds of cool stuff out of old leather. And then these are capped in these elaborate brass balls. And people do all kinds of stuff with these things. They repurpose them for all kinds of stuff. I saw one in here, this one. Look at that. Can you see? Somebody made a coat rack out of it. See the coat hooks all over it? But those are popular because they got a lot of old iron on it. But all the capped ends, most of them are brass, some are steel, some are cast iron. But I think I counted 14 sets. And they don't bring a fortune. I usually sell them 30 to 40 bucks a pair. But I didn't pay a lot for this lot, maybe 20 bucks, 30 bucks, 30 bucks, I think. So I sell one set and the rest of them are free. So these are two of the pricier items I bought. Antique freestanding floor stand ashtrays. And this one's amazing. Heavy, heavy, heavy cast base. Needs a little adjusting. I was kind of bummed when I got it. It's broke right through right here. That's kind of sad for me, but you can't tell these things from an online photograph. It's supposed to be greyhounds. Look at the tongues hanging out the side. Pretty cool. Very unique piece. This one's not a cast base. It's got a weight in the bottom though. And I think this was the kind that had the push button. And the push button made this disappear so the ashes would go down in there. My plan was, after cleaning it up, is I'm just going to put a glass insert, a glass ashtray inside of it. And make it beautiful again. I love it. I love them. 3 antique ashtrays in 2 days. Pretty great. This was like one of the favorite things I got here. And I have all the lids for, the vinegar. They're packed away in these. I just, the more I handle it on this concrete floor, it just gives me the willies. I'm going to smash it. But I couldn't find out anything about these. I mean, I thought they were German, they were European of some sort. And some of them are actually marked Germany. I'm not sure the age. I would say they're not 100 years old, but I would say they're probably 75 years old, maybe a little bit older than that. Really stoked to get an old set like this with everything so complete. One of them's got a crack in it somewhere. That one was cracked and glued. If you could feel it, it just feels like delicate glass, like you just kind of terrified to touch it. Anyway, as soon as I'm done with this shot, it goes back in this little box I made for it to get it here. I had to try to think of some kind of box to slam together real quick before I went to get this stuff. So I got 2 of these. They're old framed glass out of a pinball machine. And they're both out of the same machine. I plan on putting these in I'll just show you what I plan on doing with it, because I already got one done in here. Where can I put this where it doesn't fall and get smashed? Although I'm sure that would help my YouTube algorithm if that got smashed. Hey, you gotta see this. Oh man, this thing came completely apart. Wow, it's completely out of the frame. I cannot believe that didn't break. Way to let go of it. Good. Man, I'm glad that didn't come apart. Oh, they could have told me about that. That's crazy. Anyway, it's another one. Wow, that could have gone the other way. These are expensive. I never priced that kind of thing on the internet before, until I went to see if I could find this jungle jackpot machine. But God, some of them are some of the glass on back glass on some of those is a couple $1,000s. I didn't pay that. Man, I'm really glad to get this though. Because when I'm done with it, I think it's gonna look kind of cool. It's gonna look like that up there. Let me get the camera. It's that piece right there. And that's what I intend to do with each of those other ones. I might use like an old beer crate or a soda crate for the box. I think if it fits, that might be cool. Wow, if you made it this far in this video, go buy yourself something shiny, because that was a lot. See you in the next video. Thanks.